If you've ever tried to get your finances in order, you likely know the frustrating cycle. You download a budgeting app, or you build a meticulous spreadsheet. You promise yourself you'll stick to the numbers, and then the plan falls apart anyway. The failure rarely happens because the math is too complicated. It happens because the human brain is incredibly skilled at real-time rationalization. The moment we want to buy something, our minds instantly manufacture a compelling reason why this specific purchase is an entirely reasonable exception to the rule. We tell ourselves that an expensive, unplanned lunch out is a reward for a stressful work week, or we decide that buying a third coffee of the day is a strict medical necessity to maintain productivity. We explain away our own choices as they happen. What we are actually doing is applying a politeness filter. This is an unconscious emotional layer we wrap around our financial decisions. Its primary purpose is to protect our egos from the uncomfortable realization that our discipline is slipping. Because of this filter, humans struggle to objectively audit their own habits. When the person spending the money and the person evaluating the spending are the exact same individual, the final report is biased from the start. I wanted to see what would happen if I bypassed that bias entirely. So I exported my last 3 months of bank and credit card statements, completely unedited raw data, and fed them into an AI language model. The prompt I gave it was highly specific. I instructed it to analyze my spending like a brutally honest financial advisor. It had to operate with zero emotional intelligence, point out every damaging pattern, and under no circumstances attempt to spare my feelings. The goal was simple. I needed to see exactly what my financial reality looked like when the politeness filter was completely deactivated. The first thing the AI flagged was my spending on food delivery apps. I knew I ordered takeout occasionally, but I hadn't realized the sheer volume of the transactions over a 90-day period. In my head, I justified those orders as paying for a necessary convenience after long workdays. The AI reframed it differently. It stated plainly that I was functionally paying a premium to avoid walking to my own kitchen. This chart illustrates exactly what the AI pointed out next. The total cost of avoiding my kitchen dwarfed my entire quarterly savings. The price of convenience had outpaced my actual wealth-building efforts for 3 straight months. Then it moved on to my subscriptions. It quickly identified 4 separate recurring charges, each under $15 a month. This flowchart maps out the transaction history the AI analyzed. While the monthly fees regularly drained from the main account, there was zero corresponding transaction history to indicate active use, no in-app purchases or upgrades of any kind. I had always considered unused subscriptions to be small, forgettable leaks in the budget. The AI offered a much harsher conclusion. I was paying $61 a month simply to maintain the theoretical possibility that a hypothetical future version of myself might log in someday. Stripped of my excuses, the data showed that both categories were actually payments for illusions, the luxury of delivery and the hypothetical productivity of software I never opened.
The analysis then shifted from what I was buying to exactly when I was buying it. The AI ran a chronological review of the timestamps on my statements. This 24-hour radial clock graph plots the exact time of every purchase. The AI uncovered a dense cluster of impulse spending occurring almost exclusively in a tight window, between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. Notice how the transaction volume spikes exactly where this overlaid trendline drops to its lowest point. The AI connected my late-night spending to a behavioral economics principle called ego depletion. Late-night spending correlates directly with biological low self-control windows. When you are tired, your willpower to resist a purchase evaporates. As this graph morphs to project 5 years into the future, the AI took these specific unchecked habits and extrapolated the current run rate, plotting out the cumulative weight of these daily choices. But look at what happens when a second line appears. The AI presented an alternative scenario, calculating the lost compound growth if just half of that leak spending had been redirected into a standard index fund instead. This green line representing potential growth completely dwarfs the cost of the wasted funds. In the moment, an individual bad purchase feels like an isolated anecdote, but when you apply cold mathematics and extrapolate those habits over a 5-year timeline, those anecdotes transform into an undeniable mathematical threat to your future wealth. Now, blind trust in an AI's financial analysis has severe limitations. A language model doesn't know your full financial picture. It doesn't understand your income stability, your long-term life goals, or the nuanced difference between a mindless late-night impulse and a deliberate, planned treat. This kind of pattern matching is not a replacement for the comprehensive planning you get from a licensed human financial advisor. Yet this exercise was highly effective, precisely because it lacked a human touch. When a friend or an advisor reviews your spending, social dynamics are in play. They soften their delivery to preserve the relationship. An AI simply reads the data and states what it sees. The true value of the audit wasn't in its mathematical accuracy. The value was the complete absence of social softening. Removing politeness from the equation shatters deep-seated financial denial in a way a gentle conversation never could. After reviewing the data, I made immediate behavioral changes. I canceled the 4 unused subscriptions, and I set up an automated transfer to route my estimated convenience budget directly into savings before I have a chance to spend it on delivery apps. I also instituted a personal friction rule to counter ego depletion. Any purchase over $20 initiated during that late-night window requires a mandatory next morning review before the transaction is finalized. If you want to replicate this, export your own bank data, feed it into an AI, and ask for an unsoftened, brutally honest pattern analysis. Ask it to project the long-term cost of your current habits and instruct it not to be nice. Try it for yourself. Confronting your unfiltered financial reality is deeply uncomfortable, but it requires accepting a vital truth. When it comes to rationalizing bad decisions, your own brain is often your worst financial enemy.